Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. SmackDown Live stepped up to the plate tonight and took a swing at their build for SummerSlam, and while they kind of got on base, they definitely didn't knock it out of the park, and it was really just another sweat-covered, ego-driven, Shane McMahon-centric episode of SmackDown Live, and we are here to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Live review. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
You know, in case you're blind, I want to reiterate tonight before we get into the show that the title that you've seen on the thumbnail says everything wrong with SmackDown, which essentially means when you're tuning in, I'm not going to be sitting here screaming the praises of the show. The point of this review is to tell you everything that is wrong with the show. Some of you people that can read and have actual intelligence might be like, yeah, dumbass, we know that. Why are you telling us something we already know? Why are you acting like the WWE right now? Because today's been a very interesting day. Today's been a day. I've been surrounded by so many clowns on social media and actually throughout the day at my job in public that I feel like I was at the Big Top Circus today. And it makes me even more mad because I love clowns. But these kind of clowns piss me off. I actually today was called a dummy by Maria Kanellis because she said something very stupid on Twitter. I called her out on it, and she didn't understand quite what I was saying. She called me a dummy, claims that I don't know what the meaning of the word heat is. And to illustrate to you guys that I know what the hell I'm talking about and that this SmackDown Live review is going to be, at the very least, honest, and it is going to be factual, let me tell you guys and school you a little bit about heat. First of all, it's an industry term that I hate using because you got people that go, oh, well, this guy's got heat and that guy's got go-away heat. Bleh. It's a stupid term, and people like to tear it apart. Well, heat's heat. You know, if you're hated, you're getting heat. No, there are specifically two different things I'm talking about. When I'm telling you that what you're saying might generate actual hatred, that's not heat. Ric Flair generates heat. Baron Corbin generates hatred. Shane McMahon generates hatred. The underlying difference being you'll pay your money to see Ric Flair get his ass kicked because he's that good at being a bad guy. That's what heat is. On the other end of the spectrum, you got Shane and Corbin and others that make you want to change the channel. They don't make you want to shell out your money and go to see the show live because you know they're just going to shove these guys down your throat and you want nothing to do with them. That's the difference for any of you people that have it confused. Okay, so there I have solidified the fact to all of you guys that I know the difference between heat and hate. Most of the rest of the wrestling community apparently does not. I was attacked by all of the Nimrods today. Send them all my way because I care not for their nonsense. I don't give a shit about the unintelligent masses who soak this shit up and then say it's a great show. SmackDown Live tonight was not a great show. It was a good show. It had its moments. But I expected much better. I expected much better from what was supposedly Eric Bischoff's first night on the job. But reports are saying that Eric Bischoff was not at creative meetings this week, nor was he backstage tonight at SmackDown Live. It's possible his input made its way through the channels of, social media, emails, phone calls. Maybe he was on a conference call. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he did have something to do with tonight's show. Because like I said, it had its moments. But even some of those moments have to be hammered down on because still they leave a lot of doubt. They didn't make too much sense and let's get started talking about tonight's episode of SmackDown Live. Thank you for indulging my little bit of a rant. I could go more into it, but I think I'm going to actually turn it into a special episode. So if you're not subscribed and you're going to enjoy today's show, and you have to subscribe right now, because you're not going to want to miss that one when I go off on the community and Maria Kanellis and the difference between heat and hate. So let's get started. Tonight's SmackDown Live was set to kick off with a town hall meeting. And this, when I heard of it, it piqued my interest because there was something completely different that I was expecting. There was something that I was hoping was going to happen here, being that Shane McMahon just ate a tombstone at Extreme Rules at the hands of the dead man. I thought tonight, after Kevin Owens' pipe bomb and his stunner and all of that, he was going to sit down and have this town hall meeting with the members of the SmackDown Live roster. And I thought they were going to be given a chance to air their grievances. I wouldn't have had a problem if you had guys like Drew McIntyre and a guy like Elias and Charlotte Flair sitting there defending Shane McMahon, since they've always been on his positive side. It would have made a little bit more sense. And then you could have had Shane McMahon say, you know what? If that's how the majority of you guys feel, you guys are right. I'm going to step back. I'm just going to run the show. I'm not going to have an active role anymore. This way I could make way for new stars and new this and blah, blah, blah. And promise the world to the WWE Universe. Whether or not he would deliver on that said promise would be a whole nother thing. You know, they would probably slowly creep him back into being the Shane McMahon he was, which would actually be more interesting to watch than him just being the human sweat machine and leaving spots all over the floors and the mats and the rings and the ropes of SmackDown Live. Would have been interesting to see. Well, he would have seemed to have made the turn, but slowly but surely that old McMahon comes back into the fold until somebody effectively eliminates him for good, and that would have been the end of it. Could have been a cool way to go about things, but that's not what we go about. That's not what we go about. That's not what we got here. That's not how they went about it, I think is what I meant to say. Listen, having Shane McMahon start this show and not take this thing seriously, use it as a vehicle for him to just try to generate heat for himself by calling out all of the people that Kevin Owens name-dropped during his pipe bomb 2 weeks ago. He was just being your typical Shane McMahon. We didn't hear anything real in that town hall meeting. They gave the cool line to the big dog. The big dog was the first one to speak to Shane, and he was like, Shane, you can kiss my ass. And then he walked out. Who cares? You know what it did? It made Shane McMahon sweat a little bit harder. Which is going to happen anyway, so effectively it did nothing. It did nothing. Then you got Charlotte Flair coming out. Oh, well, I don't know why any of them are acting like this. That was very disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. And then the old Smurf blower showed up. She came out of the Smurf village and stopped servicing the whole town and was like, hey, listen, Papa Smurf needed a break. I'm over here back on SmackDown Live. And I'm tired of seeing Charlotte Flair in the main event. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that was the gist of what she was trying to say. She wasn't allowed to say much because Shane McMahon was cutting everybody off left and right. But the purpose of this, just like the purpose of every other thing that happened during this town hall meeting, was to set up tonight's show, which I can give them a little bit of a credit for effort, you know, but at the end of the day, it's still just another overdrawn opening segment of everybody just talking at each other, just so that they can tell us all the matches we can see tonight, most of which we kind of already knew if you follow the WWE on social media. So, what were we getting? We were getting nothing, which is what we're used to getting from the WWE. This show would pick up at the end of this town hall meeting. Cesaro was there, which I thought was odd because Cesaro is a Raw superstar. Shane McMahon made notice of this and made mention of it, but Cesaro made his point very clear. He was here to pick a fight once again with Aleister Black. And while initially I have no problem seeing these two guys go at it again, they are seemingly made to wrestle one another. They could have had that match go on right when it did, and go out through the entirety of the rest of SmackDown Live, and I think we all would be thoroughly entertained by the antics and the athleticism and the matchup that we got tonight from Aleister Black and Cesaro. It was a great match. It was a great match. Right before the match, before I forget about this, because, it's not really that important anyway, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was given the night off by Shane McMahon thanks to all of the things that he has done to him in the last couple of weeks. And then shows back up. Stone Cold Steve Austin style. Stuns Shane McMahon to conclude the town hall meeting. And we would get the very awesome Aleister Black versus Cesaro match. Before we talk about how awesome this match was, let's talk about some of the things wrong with this match. The only thing really being the choice to book it so quickly following the match that we got at Extreme Rules. Why we couldn't have just had Cesaro make the challenge tonight and have Aleister Black maybe answer him and make the challenge for SummerSlam. Put it back up on a big stage. There's no reason to run through it so quickly and burn it out. This match just gained momentum. This feud, rather, just gained momentum. And the WWE turns around and does what they always do, just like they did with AJ and Shinsuke, just like they did with AJ and Joe. When they see that we're getting a good match that everybody's into, that the crowd pops for, they just automatically rapid fire it back at us. One show, right after the other show, right after the other show. There was no need for this. We talk about this all the time. We can extend feuds without having to have matches actually take place. You could have had Cesaro's involvement in last night's episode of Monday Night Raw being part of that battle royal at the end of the night, which didn't make sense since he lost at Extreme Rules. You could have had that be the driving point for Aleister Black, and he could have been like, listen, they gave you my shot at the title. I beat your ass. Why did they give it to you? I want to beat your ass again. And then you'd have a real valid reason for this match to be taking place again. You could have had Cesaro accept the challenge and move on. Next week, you have one guy jump the other guy. You have things escalate between them without having matches. It's a thing that used to happen in wrestling that doesn't happen anymore, and I don't really understand why. They are just shooting it out at us so quickly, one right after the other, burning it out. Are we going to see it again next week? Why would we see it again? Because tonight, Aleister Black defeated Cesaro in this fantastic matchup. A match that I thought was actually better than the match they had at Extreme Rules. It definitely impressed me. One of the things I took away from this match just by watching, and you could see it with your own two eyes, even when the WWE went to the picture-in-picture commercial break, I could have sworn I heard the impact from the shots that were being laid out by these two guys. You want to talk stiff kicks? You want to talk tough strikes? You want to talk ultimate athleticism? These guys went out there and killed it. Absolutely killed it. The only negative thing about it being that it happened on the SmackDown Live as a rematch from what just happened on Sunday, and now Cesaro lost again, making him 0-2. What reason would we have to see these guys fight again? Is Cesaro going to just keep coming out and continuing to be the only one to pick a fight with him until he gets a win over him or something like that? Now he's going to be obsessed with trying to beat Aleister Black? Maybe I could get behind that, only because I hope to God this is not the end for these two. What else could they possibly have planned for Aleister Black right now that is better than what we just got in the last 3 days? I don't see anything else in sight. This is friggin' awesome. This is the type of stuff we need more of. It's a refreshing matchup, and they've already given it to us twice in less than a week. Should we be concerned? Maybe. Maybe we're on the midst of another Chris Benoit, Booker T, best of 7 back and forth. Or when they did it with Sheamus and Cesaro, back and forth, best of 7. I might actually be okay with it just based off of the quality of the matches we were getting. But really, does anybody want to see that? I don't want to see them fight 7 times in the next 5 weeks. They should take their time with it. They should develop it. They should give Aleister Black moments to characterize himself and let people get more familiar with who he is and what he's all about. This was a great match, man. Great match. Aleister Black kicked the mouthpiece right out of Cesaro with a Black Mass kick to secure the victory in what was definitely tonight's best match. It was friggin' awesome. If you missed that matchup, go back and watch it. Look it up on YouTube, whatever you want, because the rest of the show after it kind of suffers. This, to me, was the moment of the night. And it started off right at the beginning, and then everything else just came up a little bit short. In the back, Dolph Ziggler came out to cry to Shane McMahon. So now we got the two of them back there. One of them's crying, the other one's sweating. The guy with the mop, did they got Gary, the fucking goat, to be back there with his mop to make sure they get a real good cleaning since there was going to be so much excess bodily fluids in the back? I certainly hope so. Dolph Ziggler's in the back. He approaches Shane McMahon. He thinks he should be the one to take care of Kevin Owens. And I'm like, but Shane McMahon already took care of Kevin Owens. He sent his ass home. Kevin Owens took his shot, and now he's gone, right? Why would Kevin Owens still be sticking around? We don't know that he's still there. As far as we know, he hightailed it out of there. But Dolph Ziggler apparently knows he's still around, and he wants to be the one to take care of him. It should have been me to be the one to take care of Kevin Owens. Who gives a shit about Dolph Ziggler? Why does he want to fight a man that just beat his ass in 15 seconds? Who cares about any of this? Nobody. They are taking the coolest thing that has happened, which is the Kevin Owens thing right now, and making me not care by putting him against a guy like Dolph Ziggler, who can't win a match. He goes out there claiming to be the best and claiming to be change, and we need a new Dolph, and we need a this, and we need to zig, and we need to zag. And then all he does is fucking lose. And then he's coming out talking to Shane McMahon and getting things just handed to him. I don't give a shit. So stupid. Dolph Ziggler promises Shane McMahon that because Kevin Owens is left, he's going to be able to make the match happen. I make things happen, he says. The only thing he makes happen is looking up at the lights. The only thing Dolph Ziggler makes happen is the win going to the other guy in the ring. I make things happen. Fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? They add a promo that Daniel Bryan cut following the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and this was a very intriguing and very awesome promo. Like we say all the time, when Daniel Bryan's got your attention and he's got screen time, shut your lips and learn. Because this man is a mastermind at the art of the wrestling promo. The man's blowing a fuse. There's something wrong with Daniel Bryan. He's on a mission to do something he's never done before. And tonight they teased a career-altering announcement for Daniel Bryan. But we didn't get that. We'll talk about that in just a second. Charlotte Flair defeated Liv Morgan. And for the first time in the entirety of my life since I've been made aware of Liv Morgan, I found myself sitting here saying to myself, man, all I want to see tonight is Liv Morgan win this match. And in the back of my head there was a chuckle. Because I've been brutal on this girl. Yeah, we call her the Smurf Blower. We have fun because she's got a blue tongue. It's funny. Don't tell me it's not. It's friggin' funny. But tonight shouldn't have been funny. Tonight I was hoping to see the WWE come through on their promise of change. They did offer us a new match in a singles match between Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan without the Riot Squad, without anything outside going on. This was a straight up one-on-one between the two girls. And I think Liv Morgan should have won this match. And only because she went against Charlotte Flair. I think that would signify something different, right? That would have been a big way to pop the crowd. Holy shit, people are winning that aren't supposed to be winning. What's going on? Maybe Charlotte had a bad night. Maybe she got a little bit too cocky. An interesting thing happened at the end of this match, though. Charlotte Flair did defeat Liv Morgan, and in her defeat, Liv Morgan limped over to the announce table and grabbed the headset off of Corey Graves' head, and she said that Charlotte Flair was right, and that when she comes back, she's going to be real. Now, I don't know what real Liv Morgan entails. I don't know if she's going to come back and be a female impersonation of Enzo Amore, which I certainly hope that is not the case. I don't know if real Liv Morgan is going to be a complete 180 from what she's doing right now. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's going to stop blowing Smurfs. Maybe she's going to stop blowing Smurfs and she's not going to have the blue tongue anymore. Maybe she's going to stop coming out dressing up like a discount Harley Quinn. Maybe she's going to come out with black hair and end up looking like the old, what the hell was that old diva's name? Oksana? Alright, she kind of would look like her with the dark black hair, I think. I don't think I would want to see her do anything that drastic, but it remains to be seen now, and she left us with a little bit of intrigue. What the fuck does it mean for Liv Morgan to be real? We're going to find out when she gets back. When's that going to be? I don't know. I don't know if she was just doing a great job of selling a leg injury or did legit hurt herself, which is why she said when she comes back. I don't know if this is all pre-planned. The cards will fall where they may, and we will know what happens as we go along this journey now with Liv Morgan, who has been waiting all this time to get on TV, shows up on TV, has a match with Charlotte Flair, loses, and now apparently is going away. So any momentum or anything that she gained from what she showed tonight, and let's be honest, Liv Morgan, what we've seen from her tonight was probably the best we've ever seen her look in ring ever. And I'm not talking 4 or 5 star match type stuff, but we're talking about this girl is definitely learning, right? You can tell she's gotten a whole lot better than where she was 2 years ago when the Riot Squad debuted. So I can accept that. And when I can see the change coming and I can see her hungry for the competition and she's always championing being on the show, if you follow her on social media, you know that I'm telling you what I'm telling you is true. It was refreshing to see. It just went in a different direction than I hoped that it would. We go back to the back, and we see Dolph Ziggler getting Kevin Owens' phone number from the referee because he makes things happen. And why would the referee have Kevin Owens' phone number? Are they buddies? Are they driving up and down the road together for episodes of Ride Along? Kevin Owens and the ref. Is this the same referee that's supposed to have everybody's phone number in case somebody decides to cash in on the 24/7 I'm a Clown Avocado Toast Championship belt of the world? I don't know. Why does the ref have Kevin Owens' phone number? Why couldn't he just have went to an agent or a friend of Kevin Owens? Go find fucking Sami Zayn. I'm sure he's lurking around backstage. Yo, give me Kevin's number. Or don't give me Kevin's number. Call Kevin and tell him to get his ass back here. I want to beat him up. No, but he's going to the ref for Kevin Owens' phone number. Ember Moon shows up to take on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and she's going to have a surprise tag team partner. And if you look up and down the list of the people that are available, who would be available? Carmella's around backstage. I don't know if Naomi's looking to jump ship or if she used the wild card tonight. I don't know who else is backstage, but there was pretty much nobody else that could have possibly been put into this situation other than the WWE SmackDown Live Women's Champion Bayley. So Bayley comes out and is announced as Ember Moon's partner. It didn't get too much of an overwhelming reaction, but what we got was a decent excuse for a tag team matchup. It was short, just as most of the matches have been throughout the week for the WWE. But this was a very basic heel versus babyface tag team matchup, and Ember Moon and Bayley go on to get the win after the match, is what the story is really all about. Kayla Braxton decides to talk to Bayley post-match and Ember Moon as well, and asked who her next challenger was going to be at SummerSlam. Bayley then loads up with a hard right hand and takes a stiff shot at Alexa Bliss, saying that she's happy to be done with the nonsense with Alexa Bliss and is ready to get back to doing what she's always wanted to do, which is elevate the SmackDown Live Women's Division, elevate the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, and then in the most cringeworthy, awful, most ridiculously scripted way possible, Bayley offers a title shot to Ember Moon, and Ember Moon obviously accepts the challenge. And for the first time in Bayley's reign, I am excited for a match that we are going to see for the first time in a long time with the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Bayley versus Ember Moon is an NXT dream match that is going to take center stage at SummerSlam, and if given a proper amount of time and a decent road agent to put together this match with them, they have the capability to actually steal the show at the WWE's second biggest show of the summer. Don't believe me? Wait and see. If all of the planets align and everything is laid out exactly like I just said, they're given a nice amount of runtime, they put together a good match with a decent road agent, they are allowed to be free of outside goofballs and interference by anybody else, it's going to come out just fine. You just watch. Oh, no way, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Go back and watch Ember Moon take on Asuka in NXT. I was there at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn when those two went head to head, and it was great. It was greatness. It's one of the things we expected when we started to hear the words Women's Revolution, but that shit went south fast, didn't it? Let's move on. In the back, Sarah Schreiber interviewed Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura, who says he's going to rain down chaos on SmackDown. Well, what the hell has he been doing all the rest of this time? Raining down on catering? Where the hell has he been? And he comes out of nowhere, wins the Intercontinental Championship belt in underwhelming fashion on a pre-show, and now he's coming to rain down chaos. I'm not going to get too down on Shinsuke because he was approached by Ali. Ali congratulated Shinsuke Nakamura on winning the Intercontinental Championship, and it seems as if we are on course for Ali versus Shinsuke for the IC title, and I can totally buy into that. Ali is a fantastic talent. Shinsuke Nakamura speaks for himself. We know what the man is capable of. He hasn't been allowed to show it, but we know what he's capable of, and the same rules apply here as I just said for the women's match. If the Intercontinental Championship match is not placed on the pre-show, it's given a nice amount of runtime, this is going to be another match with the capability of stealing the show. We already have two show-stealing matches, two possible show stealers, booked by SmackDown Live tonight during this half-decent episode of SmackDown Live, and I can appreciate the effort. I don't appreciate what would be happening next. Daniel Bryan and Recyclable Rowan were on their way to the ring for Daniel Bryan's career-altering announcement. But when we come back from break, we got the New Day in the ring. And the New Day, for some reason, decide that they're going to step on Daniel Bryan's moment. I don't understand why this was made to happen. And on one hand, I'm interested to know even more now what Daniel Bryan's announcement is. But on the other hand, it really sucks that they just kind of baited us in for something huge and then delivered with absolutely nothing. And what they came at us with was even more underwhelming than Daniel Bryan just coming out and walking away in the first place. Daniel Bryan comes out to confront the New Day after they, New Day'd all over SmackDown Live about being the new champions and the three of them being proud African, whatever he said they were, I forget. It escapes my mind. But nonetheless, the New Day were there to celebrate on Daniel Bryan's moment. Daniel Bryan walked up and down the aisle and left. And then he came back down again, and then he left again. And then he came back down again, and then he dropped the microphone and walked away. And then we never seen him again. So we have no idea what the man was going to say. He's got a few screws knocked loose after the last few encounters he's been in, and I'm interested to know what it is. But tonight just was a tease that felt forced and just kind of stupid. Really did. There was no other way to describe it. This was kind of stupid, and I didn't enjoy this. Nor did I enjoy what was to follow as Samoa Joe, the modern-day journeyman of professional wrestling who just shows up wherever they need a body, apparently, decides to show up on SmackDown Live and lay claim to a rematch with Kofi Kingston. Even though he was beaten cleanly by Kingston, he wants another shot at the title. And he's thinking in his head, if Baron Corbin can do it, why can't I, right? So give Samoa Joe a little bit of slack over here. Who doesn't get any slack is Elias. Elias, who comes out and now says, well, you know what, Joe, you had your chance and you blew it, and now it's time for me to try to wrestle away the championship from Kofi Kingston. Nobody wants to see that. Why is Elias out there right now? All of a sudden he wants the WWE Championship. This guy has been more than content coming out there and singing little ditties, getting lettuce and tomatoes thrown at him, being part of all kind of clown segments. Now all of a sudden he wants the WWE Championship? And I'm supposed to take you seriously? I don't think so, Tim. And now, Randy Orton comes out. And of the three men, if you had to go with one, you're going to have to go with Randy Orton. Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston have history from long ago. Not that that's the reason to do it, because why would we go back? That's one of my complaints with Seth Rollins winning the Battle Royal last night. Why are we going back to something that already happened instead of doing something new and something different? Not that I wanted them to go with Elias, but I'm saying Randy Orton, if you're looking at all three competitors, you don't have to do much work to give Randy Orton a heavyweight championship shot. He's Randy Orton. Right? Well, what does he have to prove? He's Randy Orton. He could walk out there and be like, listen, I'm Randy Orton. I want a championship match. And they'll be like, okay, because nobody wants to get RKO'd. So that's what they're going to do. Randy Orton's got that kind of stroke. He doesn't need to be put in a forced six-man tag that we didn't need to see because we had 2 six-man tags last night. Now we're getting another one tonight. At least it wasn't 2 out of 3 falls, thank God. But we're getting another six-man tag. One that's unnecessary. Because what was the point of this six-man tag? To have Randy Orton pin the champion. Mistake number 1, pinning the champion to establish credibility for your new contenders. Mistake number 2, doing it with a guy like Randy Orton who doesn't need to establish credibility to be a World Heavyweight Championship contender. But that's what we got. 6-man tag. Randy Orton, Elias, and Samoa Joe defeat the New Day. Fresh off of them all winning championship matchups, they go down in defeat. The tag team champions and the WWE champion lose because the WWE is not creative enough to make something up other than giving a match to somebody so they can pin the champion. Don't have Randy Orton come out there and just cut his promo and be like, 6-man. Randy Orton's smart enough that he was going to walk away from this 6-man. Right at the start of this thing, he's like, 6-man tag, nah, I'm good. And I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy Randy. He knows what's up. We don't need another 6-man tag. Screw this. And he walks off. But then Kofi Kingston baits him in, saying that, oh, the Viper's gone limp. That was enough to sway Randy Orton. He called him limp. Now Randy Orton's got to go and defend his own honor because he's not limp. He's hard. What? And then we get the match. Was it a good match? It was a 6-man tag. How good could it be? Even some of the best 6-man tags that we've been seeing, whether it's from AEW or WWE, they're 6-man tags. So you're immediately disconnected because you're just so burnt out on 6-man tags. Just like me. In the back, after this, oh good God, Carmella is in the back looking for the 24/7 I'm a Clown Avocado champion R-Truth, and he's hiding in a washing machine. Carmella told him they gotta go and hide at Comic-Con instead. Why would you say, let's go hide here, out loud on national television? Doesn't that seem a little stupid? Be like, hey, listen, Truth, I know a great place to hide. I'll show you. Come with me. I don't want to say it. People might be lurking. Someone might be looking for the 24/7 I'm a Clown Avocado Championship. Let me say nothing. Just come with me. No, but instead you're going to blab it out. Oh, let's go hide out at Comic-Con. Comic-Con, everybody. Hey, Drake, we're going to be at Comic-Con hiding. Spoiler alert. Fucking Nimrods. Told you guys. The clowns and the Nimrods are out tonight. Get out of here. And the nonsense continues. The Kabuki Warriors get their WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup. And while I forgot this match was even happening, I would be a hypocrite, especially given all of the ideas and all of the ways I tell you guys they could do things better. I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and told you that what the Iconics did tonight was a stupid thing. What the Iconics did tonight was a classic heel tactic that worked to perfection, that worked too well. It's an old move used by many champions. People shouldn't be getting all pissed off about it. If you want to get pissed off about this segment, what you got to get pissed off about is the fact that the WWE and the agents that booked this match made Asuka and Kairi look like complete fucking idiots. If your opponent's standing outside the ring and you're in a championship match and you know championships can't change hands via countout or disqualification, and your dumbass champion opponent is standing on the outside, are you going to stand still while the ref counts to 10? Or are you going to go out there and break the count? Are you going to stop the ref from ending this match because you don't want to walk away without the championships? It shows how little thought and how little care the WWE puts into booking this matchup, which shows you how little care they have in the tag team belts as it is. They don't care enough about getting these belts that they didn't stop the referee from counting out these two girls on the outside. Are you shitting me? It defies all wrestling logic. It made two of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world look like two complete idiots. If you're okay with that, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's a whole lot wrong, and that's why we're here, and let's continue going down. I mean, at the very least, they got the win over the Iconics. This is going to keep going somehow, and perhaps we are going to get the coronation of the Kabuki Warriors as tag champions at SummerSlam. But at the end of the day, do you really care? Does the WWE care? Do Asuka and Kairi even care? Apparently not, because they didn't care enough to stop the referee from counting out the champs tonight. They stood there like two bumps on a log, just watching the ref count, and then standing there in shock. Huh? With anime face. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I bet some of you guys didn't realize that. You were all pissed off that the Iconics got themselves counted out, that you didn't even realize that they didn't even try to stop it. Another thing that WWE should have tried to stop was Apollo Crews defeating Andrade Cien Almas. Now, while I guess I would be a little bit hypocritical in not enjoying this, but giving Apollo Crews a win in this situation over Andrade Cien Almas, when they're just pretty much getting started in a feud that was based off of the town hall meeting altercation between the two of them, Andrade Cien Almas is approaching Samoa Joe territory where he's got a girl with him that can talk the talk. She can make you think that Andrade Cien Almas is the best thing in the world. Just like Samoa Joe, he could talk his way with a microphone like almost nobody else. And then they come up short in the ring 99.98% of the time. Andrade Cien Almas is the same way. He talks so much greatness and then does nothing. He goes out there and loses more often than not. How many times we've seen him lose to a guy like AJ, to a guy like Finn, and now to Apollo Crews. While it does do something to establish Apollo Crews, there's another way around this. And I know you can't have every single match end in a DQ of some kind, but there's still another way around that. Check this out. What if Apollo Crews came out tonight and you're in Boston? Why don't you give him a talent from Boston? I don't know. Kurt Hawkins is from New York, so fuck it. Give him Kurt Hawkins. It's close enough. Give him a quick squash match versus Kurt Hawkins, which everybody's going to be like, oh, what is this shit match? And I would have shit all over it. But then at the end of the match, after Apollo Crews is celebrating, you got Andrade hitting the ring because he talked shit to him at the beginning of the show. Instead of booking the match outright and then giving Apollo Crews the win, you could have made this into something, given the fans interest, given it a story behind it, and then away you go. And develop it with 4 weeks to go before SummerSlam. Plenty of time to tell some interesting stories if you ask me. But instead, Apollo Crews comes out there, beats Andrade Cien Almas with little to no effort in a match that was easily maybe 5 minutes tops, and that's probably being generous. And to do what? To continue on. So now we're going to see Andrade get his win back. And then we'll have the rubber match at SummerSlam. Are they going to really do this with every singles feud? Believe me, I appreciate the amount of singles action we got tonight, as opposed to the six-mans and the eliminations and all the nonsense that we get on Monday Night Raw. But the booking and the choices and the finishes of these matches have just really been awful, and they have been more damaging to the superstars than doing them good. If you have a brain, that is. If you know what heat is, that is. If you're a sledgehead and you've been with me for a while, you definitely know that that is the case. Because you're an intelligent fan, and that's why you're part of this family. You're not a clown, and you're not a Nimrod attacking me on Twitter because Maria said so. It's stupid. They recapped Bray Wyatt's appearance on Monday Night Raw last night, which was the only thing from Monday Night Raw worth recapping at all. That was a tough thing to say. They also would talk about the Raw Reunion show, which they really should just call Raw Ratings Ploy. Or Raw Ratings Grab, because that's all it is. Why the fuck would you be bringing Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and Nash and Hall and calling them I mean, they actually booked them as Diesel from what I can see. It said Diesel and Razor and Shawn and Hunter and... for what? Is it somebody's birthday? Is it an anniversary episode? No. It's just a fucking random episode of Raw. You should be focusing all your energy on SummerSlam, but now you're going to have this speed bump show just so that you could garner a rating by having all of the names of the past show up to do what exactly? Are they going to have a battle royal now to see which old guy is going to be featured at SummerSlam this year? The show ends tonight with Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens did not really defeat Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler had a match to end this show tonight. I guess he got the phone call from Dolph. I don't care really about this matchup because it is having Dolph Ziggler in a main event for absolutely no reason. There is nothing really at stake here, and they wrestled for a while before the match would show its true colors, and a river of sweat came flowing out from the entrance ramp as Shane McMahon led a cavalcade of clowns down to ringside to do what exactly? They were going to jump him apparently for what? Because Shane said so? Did he promise not to sweat on them if they did this for him? What the hell were all of the heels out there giving a shit about any of this for? Were they all on Shane McMahon's side? I don't think so. It's ridiculous. It's trying to make him get over. It's trying to give him heat. And all it is making it look stupid. It's making no sense. Oh, well, he's bringing out an army of heels because Shane McMahon is a heel. No, stop it. Shane McMahon is a man amongst himself. He only cares about himself. He's a McMahon. He doesn't give a shit about who's heel or who's babyface. He's just using everybody because that's what McMahons do. There is no outer underlying plan for these men with Shane. This isn't a formation of a faction. This isn't anything worth happening. This is just something random. All for Kevin Owens to have this match with Dolph Ziggler. He goes for the pin. Shane McMahon pulls him out of the ring by the foot, stops the count, ends up getting a stunner from Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens hightails it out of there. He just ran for the hills. He didn't worry about finishing the match. He didn't worry about leaving Dolph Ziggler in there. Then Dolph Ziggler, I mean, Kevin Owens' stunner is probably way more devastating than Stone Cold's. And I say this to you because ever since Dolph Ziggler got hit, he laid there for the entirety of the rest of the SmackDown segment. He's probably still laying there right now. Probably looking up at the lights thinking, I can't believe that I took all this money to come back and be a loser, jobber, jerk-off. Can you blame him? Because I don't blame him for thinking that at all. This was an unnecessary segment. How many times we've seen Kevin Owens stun Shane McMahon 4-5 times already now? Each time he does it, it loses more and more of its luster. Think about when Austin did it with McMahon. How many times did he really get McMahon? He got him that first time, and then they would constantly tease it. He would go for it, and then somebody would hit the ring, and somebody would save Vince McMahon, and they would hold it and hold it and hold it until we got to the pay-per-view or to a big episode of Monday Night Raw, and then it would happen, and then we wouldn't see it happen again for weeks, and now we've seen Shane McMahon suffer the stunner almost 100 times in the last couple of weeks if you want to count in all the replays of it. And I'm already tired of it. How many times are we going to pop? How many times is he going to take a stunner and not actually be out? This man, like I said at the start of the show, he suffered a tombstone at the hands of The Undertaker and then has been successively, not successful, yes, successfully too, but successively hitting Shane McMahon with stunners left and right. And Shane McMahon's walking and talking, and he's having town hall meetings. He's running the show. Vince McMahon used to take a stunner. Boom! He was gone. He would just be in the back like this. Briscoe and Patterson waving him down, trying to revive him. After this whole shit went down and Kevin Owens took off, Kayla Braxton, being the little PI she is, ran around ringside, tried to interview Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon pushed her aside, eventually just saying Kevin Owens is going to pay. Drew McIntyre was helping him out, and that is how we finished SmackDown Live tonight, with sweat beaming at us through the camera lens, walking its way out. The camera focused on that man, not any of the heel superstars on the outside, not the nearly dead Dolph Ziggler in the middle of the ring. Shane McMahon. Not Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon. Started the show, all over the show, throughout the show, and then ends the show, and the last thing you seen was the beads of sweat dripping off his face. That's your review of tonight's episode of SmackDown Live, the first step on their way to SummerSlam. Not too bad of a step. Like I said, we got some decent matches coming our way. I don't know why they burnt out Cesaro and Aleister Black's rematch so quickly. And if they were going to do that, again, they could have had the match go to a no contest. This is a feud and a series of matches that could benefit from having a time limit draw. Think about it. What if they would have fought on Sunday to a time limit draw? And then tonight, Aleister Black and Cesaro go at it again. 15-minute time limit this time. And they go to a time limit draw. Neither one of these competitors can best the other. You could even do it again. Now you guys have 10 minutes. And then they go the whole 10 minutes. Until you book an Iron Man match at SummerSlam. 60 minutes. Cesaro versus Aleister Black. Whoever gets the most falls wins. That seems magical to me, but hey, I'm a little bit more in favor of my own ideas, especially when their ideas are just so god-awful. What would you guys do? Tell me what you guys would do with Aleister Black and Cesaro. Are you happy with the way things went down for them tonight? Are you happy overall with SmackDown Live tonight? I can't say it was all bad, because it definitely wasn't. But that doesn't mean there wasn't things wrong with it. And that's what we do here. And that's why yous come to me, so I can tell yous everything wrong with the WWE trash that comes at us. Although tonight, not so bad. Thank you guys so much for being with us on this channel. Right before we hit record, we just surpassed 1,750 subscribers. We are sitting comfortably at 1,751 as we are on the solid march to 2,000 subscribers, hopefully before the end of July, and you guys could make that happen right now. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything we got coming at you. Besides Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-view reviews, we bring the hammer down on Hollywood as well. We got our Spider-Man Far From Home review, as well as the Avengers and Game of Thrones and so much more as we get swinging on Tinseltown in the West, because Hammer in Hollywood is just as bad, and not bad in a bad way, just as bad as hammering down some of the WWE crap, because Hollywood has just been the drizzling shits lately. And go find out why, because even a good movie like Spider-Man Far From Home has some things wrong with it, although I can't title that video Everything Wrong with Spider-Man, and some of you guys might know why. That is effectively what it is, and I hope you guys enjoy that if you check it out. If you don't want to check out any of my movie stuff and you just want to stick with the wrestling, we got you covered there. We covered everything related to AEW's Fight for the Fallen over the weekend. We previewed and reviewed Extreme Rules and brought the hammer down hard on it, as we always do. We bring you guys the truth, and we bring you justice for the real-life wrestling fan, and this is your new home to do so. Make sure you check out everything else on the channel. Some of it will be in the annotations up above over there. If you're on your PC or anywhere that shows you guys these little things, click on that to move over to your next video, as we now come to the end of today's show with our signature sign-off. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball, and you will never see another wrestling podcast anywhere in the world with a World Heavyweight Championship microphone. He is strictly property of Sledgehammer TV, just like you guys who are essentially the most important member of the team, each and every one of you. I love you all so much. Without you guys, I'm sitting here just talking to a silver plastic ball, and that would make me as crazy as Daniel Bryan. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here on your new favorite wrestling channel, Sledgehammer TV, the home of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on YouTube.com.